The call came on a Tuesday morning, right as I was finishing my morning meditation routine. Lara's name flashing across my phone screen was enough to shatter any sense of peace I'd managed to cultivate. My name is Danielle, and I've spent 35 years being the other daughter, the one who wasn't quite as pretty, quite as charming, or quite as special as my older sister Lara. At least, that's what my mother's constant comparisons would have you believe. Danny, I need your help. Lara's voice cracked with desperation. It's about the IVF treatments. I closed my eyes, already knowing where this conversation was heading. What about them? The clinic needs another payment, $40,000 by Friday, or I lose my spot in the program. She paused for dramatic effect, a trick she'd perfected since childhood. I know you have savings from that little wellness business of yours. Little wellness business. I glanced around my home office where vision boards and product samples lined the walls. 5 years of 60-hour weeks, maxed out credit cards, and endless pitch meetings had transformed my little business into a 7-figure company. Lara, that's not just spare change you're asking for. That's... Mom and Dad already gave me everything they could. She cut in. You're my only hope, Danny. Don't you want to be an aunt? The guilt trip. Right on schedule. My phone buzzed with another call. Evangeline, my business partner, probably calling about our upcoming product launch. I ignored it. I can't just transfer $40,000 on a whim, I said. I have responsibilities, employees. Of course. Lara's voice turned icy. Always so practical, aren't you? While I'm fighting to create life, you're worried about your bottom line. The doorbell rang. Through my window, I spotted Mom's car in my driveway. Perfect timing, as always. I have to go, I told Lara. Someone's at the door. Just think about it, Danny. Please, I'm desperate. I opened my front door to find Mom clutching her designer handbag, her face pinched with worry. Danielle, why aren't you answering Lara's calls? I just got off the phone with her, Mom. She brushed past me into the house. Then you know about the situation. Your father and I emptied our retirement account to help her with the first round. Now it's your turn to step up. I followed her into my kitchen, where she immediately started rearranging my carefully organized coffee station. Mom, stop. This isn't about taking turns. That money is tied up in my business. Business? She scoffed. Selling essential oils and meditation apps? Lara is trying to start a family. Nothing is more important than family. My phone buzzed again. Evangeline. I need to take this, I said, stepping away. It's important. More important than your sister? I answered the call. Eva, what's up? Danny, you need to see this email from the patent office. The preliminary approval came through. My heart skipped. We'd been working on our proprietary wellness formula for 2 years. This could change everything. Send it over. I'll call you back in 10. Mom was staring at me when I hung up. Your sister is crying herself to sleep every night, Danielle. How can you be so cold? The words hit like a physical blow, same as they had throughout my childhood. Lara's tears had always been more important than my achievements. Her dreams more valid than mine. I'm not being cold, I said quietly. I'm being responsible. Did you even ask Lara why she needs another $40,000 so suddenly? That's not normal for IVF. Are you suggesting... I'm not suggesting anything. I'm asking questions that someone should have asked a long time ago. My phone lit up with Evangeline's email. The patent office's preliminary approval gleamed on the screen, validation of years of work. Mom, I have to go. I have a meeting. She gathered her bag, disappointment radiating from every movement. I really thought you'd grown up, Danielle. I guess I was wrong. After she left, I sat at my kitchen counter, staring at my phone. 3 missed calls from Lara, 2 from Mom, and 1 text from my father. Please help your sister. I opened my laptop and pulled up the browser. Something about Lara's urgency felt off. $40,000 by Friday or lose her spot. That wasn't how reputable IVF clinics operated. Time to do some digging. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as Virgil's words from last week echoed in my mind. Sometimes karma needs a little push, Danny. I typed the clinic's name into the search bar and clicked news. The first headline made my breath catch. Maybe karma was about to get that push after all. The family dinner that Sunday felt like walking into a carefully laid trap. Mom had insisted on it, claiming we needed to talk things through as a family. I knew better. This was an ambush. I arrived 10 minutes early to find Lara already seated at our parents' dining table, eyes red and puffy. Mom hovered nearby, refilling Lara's wine glass for what clearly wasn't the first time. Danny, Dad called from his armchair, barely looking up from his newspaper. Your mother made your favorite lasagna. My favorite was actually Thai food, but I'd given up correcting that years ago. The lasagna was Lara's favorite. Thanks, Mom, I said, settling into my usual seat. It smells great. Lara sniffled dramatically. At least someone still has an appetite. Mom rushed to squeeze her shoulder. Sweetheart, you need to eat something. The doorbell rang and my stomach dropped. Mom, who else is coming? Just Aunt Patricia, she replied, hurrying to answer the door. I thought we could use a mediator. Perfect. Our mother's sister, who'd spent years telling anyone who'd listen how Lara was destined for greatness while I was finding myself. Hello, my darlings. Aunt Patricia swept in, designer perfume announcing her arrival seconds before she did. She kissed Lara's cheek first, then mine. Now, what's this I hear about family troubles? Danielle refuses to help Lara with her IVF treatments, Mom announced, serving the lasagna. After everything we've done for her. I set down my fork. Everything you've done for me? Like what exactly? Don't be ungrateful. Aunt Patricia chided. Your parents put you through college. No, they didn't. I got a scholarship and worked 3 jobs. Lara's the one who got the college fund. Which I deserved, Lara interjected, voice wobbling. I was going to be a doctor. For all of 2 semesters before dropping out to find yourself in Europe, I countered. With Mom and Dad's blessing, of course. Dad finally lowered his newspaper. Girls, please. No, Dad, I cut in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how Lara needs $40,000 by Friday or she'll lose her spot at the clinic. Does that sound legitimate to anyone else? Lara's wine glass crashed to the table, spilling red across the white tablecloth. How dare you question my clinic? You have no idea what I'm going through. You're right, I don't, I said, pulling out my phone. So I did some research. Want to explain why your clinic was in the news last month for operating without proper licenses? The color drained from Lara's face. Danielle, Mom gasped, stop this at once. The article mentioned they're under investigation for financial irregularities. I continued, my voice steady despite my racing heart. Something about demanding rushed payments and disappearing with the money. Aunt Patricia reached for her purse. I don't need to hear this slander. It's not slander if it's true. I turned to my sister. Lara, are you being scammed? You childless, useless bitch, Lara screamed, launching herself across the table. Wine glasses toppled, lasagna splattered, and Mom screamed as Lara's manicured nails came inches from my face. Dad finally jumped up, pulling Lara back. That's enough. I stood, surprisingly calm. You know what? You're right. I am childless, by choice, because I wanted to build something of my own first, and I did it without anyone's help. Oh, your little essential oils? Lara sneered through tears. How impressive. My phone buzzed, a text from Virgil. Documents ready. Meeting tomorrow? Those little essential oils just got preliminary patent approval, I said, grabbing my purse. But you wouldn't know anything about building something legitimate, would you, Lara? Mom stepped between us. Danielle, apologize to your sister right now. I looked at them all. Mom's rigid disapproval, Dad's helpless confusion, Aunt Patricia's theatrical shock, and Lara's mascara-streaked rage. For the first time, I saw them clearly. A family trapped in their own toxic patterns. No, I said simply. I won't apologize for telling the truth, and I won't give money to a scam artist even if she is my sister. Get out, Mom whispered. Get out of my house. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. Dad, Mom, check your bank statements. See where that retirement money really went. Lara's not the victim here. She never was. The door slammed behind me, but not before I heard Lara's scream of fury. As I drove home, my phone lit up with angry messages, but one text stood out. From Virgil. Proud of you, Danny. Ready to show them what you're really made of? I smiled, thinking of the patent approval and the documents waiting at Virgil's office. Maybe it was time to stop standing in the shadows. Time to step into the light and let karma do its work. Monday morning found me at my company's headquarters, a renovated industrial space that perfectly reflected our brand's mix of wellness and modernity. Evangeline was already waiting in the conference room, surrounded by market research papers and prototype bottles. You look like hell, she said, sliding a green smoothie across the table. Family dinner went that well, huh? Let's just say I won't be invited to Thanksgiving. I took a long sip. But I did confirm something about Lara's clinic. The scam angle? Virgil's meeting us here in 20 minutes with the details. I picked up one of our prototype bottles. How's production looking for the launch? Evangeline's eyes lit up. That's actually why I called this morning meeting. With the preliminary patent approval, we can start mass production next month. The big retailers are already showing interest. The conference room door opened and Virgil strode in, leather briefcase in hand. His usual sharp suit was slightly rumpled, suggesting a long night at the office. Ladies, he said, spreading documents across the table, meet your sister's miracle fertility clinic. I scanned the papers, news reports, court documents, and financial records. Each page revealed another layer of deception. They've done this in 3 other states, Virgil explained. Set up shop, collect desperate couples' money with promises of immediate treatment, then vanish. They're currently under federal investigation. Evangeline whistled low. And your sister fell for this? No, I said, reading deeper. Look at these dates. Lara started treatment 6 months ago. The first warnings about the clinic came out 4 months ago. She knew. There's more, Virgil added, pulling out another document. Your parents' retirement account? Most of it went to a private account in Lara's name, not the clinic. My hands shook as I reached for the paper. She stole from them? Technically, they gave it willingly, but under false pretenses. Virgil leaned back. The question is, what do you want to do about it? Evangeline stood, pacing the room. Danny, this is bigger than family drama now. This is fraud. I know. I pressed my fingers to my temples. But they're still my family. Are they? Evangeline stopped pacing, her voice sharp. Where were they when you were working 18-hour days to launch this company? When you had that breakdown last year from exhaustion? Ava. No, listen to me. She planted her hands on the table. I've watched you shrink yourself for years to avoid overshadowing your sister. You've built something amazing here, but you still act like you need their validation. You don't. Virgil cleared his throat. She's right, Danny. And now you have leverage. What do you mean? He pulled out another document. Your patent isn't just preliminary anymore. It was fully approved this morning. Your wellness formula is revolutionary, the first of its kind to be clinically proven effective. This company is about to explode. And let me guess, I said, Lara will come asking for a piece of it. She already is, Evangeline pointed out. That's what this whole IVF drama is about. She saw your success coming and wanted to cash in early. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Your father and I checked the accounts. Please call us. They know, I whispered. Good, Virgil said. Now we can move forward with phase 2. I looked up. Phase 2? He smiled. Remember those documents I had you sign last week? The ones creating a trust for your company's assets? The protection plan, Evangeline added. No one can touch your share of the company now, not even family. My throat tightened. You both planned this? We protected you, Evangeline said softly, because you deserve to shine without anyone dimming your light. Tears pricked my eyes. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. Bullshit. Evangeline grabbed my shoulders. You're the strongest person I know. You built this company from nothing. You did it ethically, legally, and with genuine intention to help people. Unlike your sister, who's been scamming her way through life. The question is, Virgil interjected, are you ready to stop being the family doormat and start being the businesswoman you really are? My phone buzzed again. Lara this time. We need to talk. Now. I looked at the documents spread across the table at my trusted friends waiting for my decision, at the prototype bottle that represented years of work and dedication. Yes, I said finally. I'm ready. Evangeline grinned. Then let's show them what real success looks like. Virgil gathered the documents. I'll start the proceedings. By the time we're done, they'll understand exactly who they've been underestimating. I picked up my phone, typing a response to Lara. Yes, we do need to talk. Meet me at my office tomorrow. Bring Mom and Dad. Time to show them the woman I'd become while they weren't watching. They arrived at my office exactly at noon. Mom looked like she'd aged 10 years overnight. Dad's usual passive expression replaced with something harder. And Lara looked ready for battle. Nice place, Dad said, taking in the modern office space. Very professional. Thank you. I led them to the conference room where Virgil waited. This is my lawyer, Virgil. Lawyer? Lara's voice pitched higher. What do we need a lawyer for? Please, sit down. I gestured to the chairs. We have a lot to discuss. Mom clutched her handbag tighter. Danielle, if this is about the bank accounts, it's about everything, Mom. I pressed a button and the wall screen came to life, displaying financial records. Let's start with where your retirement money really went. Lara jumped up. This is ridiculous. I'm not staying. Sit down, Dad said quietly. The steel in his voice made everyone freeze. I want to hear this. Virgil stepped forward. Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, the documents show that the $175,000 withdrawn from your retirement account was transferred to a personal account under Lara's name. Only $15,000 ever reached the fertility clinic. Mom's face went pale. That can't be right. Lara said, I have proof of every transaction, Virgil continued, switching to the next slide. Including subsequent transfers to accounts in the Cayman Islands. You had no right to investigate me. Lara shrieked, mascara already running. This is invasion of privacy. Actually, I said, when you asked me for $40,000, you made it my business. Especially since you knew the clinic was under federal investigation for fraud. Dad's hands gripped the armrests. You knew? Daddy, please, Lara sobbed. I can explain. Then explain, he cut in. Explain why your mother and I ate into our retirement to fund treatments you never received. Explain why you're still asking your sister for more money. The conference room door opened and Evangeline entered with a stack of folders. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible. She distributed the folders. These are copies of all relevant documentation, including news reports about the clinic's fraud investigations in other states. Mom opened her folder with trembling hands. All this time, you were lying? I needed the money. Lara exploded. Do you have any idea what it's like watching her succeed while I have nothing? Little perfect Danielle with her perfect company? Perfect? I laughed. I worked 60-hour weeks for 5 years. I missed holidays, birthdays, everything. Building this company while you were gallivanting around Europe on Mom and Dad's dime. And now you're going to lord it over us? Lara sneered. Show off your big success? No. I straightened in my chair. I'm going to give you a choice. Virgil placed a document in front of Lara. Option 1, you return every penny you took from your parents plus interest. We don't press charges for fraud. Or, Lara spat, or we turn everything over to the FBI's fraud division, Evangeline said. They're very interested in the clinic's accomplices. Accomplices? Mom whispered. People who knowingly participated in the scam, Virgil explained. like someone who pretended to need treatment to solicit money from family members. The color drained from Lara's face. Dad stood slowly. How much? What? How much did you take from us in total, Lara? Not just the retirement account, everything. Lara's lips trembled. Daddy. $297,000, I answered. Over the past 3 years. Mom made a choking sound. I'll pay it back, Lara said quickly. I just need time. With what money? Dad asked. You haven't held a job in 5 years. Actually, I interjected, I have a proposition. I slid another document across the table. A payment plan, structured through my company. Lara works here in our customer service department until the debt is paid. You want me to work for you? Lara looked horrified. I want to give you a chance to make this right, I corrected. More than you deserve, honestly. Mom reached for the document with shaking hands. Danielle, I don't know what to say. Say you'll stop enabling her, I replied. Say you'll let her face consequences for once. Dad picked up his copy of the agreement. The terms are fair, more than fair. He turned to Lara. You're taking this job. But no buts, he snapped. You start paying back every penny, or we support Danielle going to the FBI. Lara slumped in her chair, defeated. Sign here. Virgil indicated the bottom of the document. You start Monday, 9 a.m. sharp. As they filed out of the conference room, Mom paused at the door. We should have seen it, should have seen a lot of things. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. After they left, Evangeline squeezed my shoulder. You okay? No, I admitted, but I will be. Virgil gathered the documents. You know she'll try to sabotage you. Let her try, I said, watching my family's retreating figures through the office windows. I'm done living in shadows. Lara lasted exactly 3 hours and 42 minutes on her first day before having a meltdown in the break room. I watched through the security feed as she threw her company-issued laptop across the room, screaming about how the work was beneath her. That's coming out of her first paycheck, Evangeline said, peering over my shoulder at the monitor. If she makes it to a first paycheck. I switched off the feed. Send her to my office. Minutes later, Lara stormed in, mascara already smeared. This is humiliation, and you know it. No, this is an entry-level position with benefits and a clear path to paying off your debt. I gestured to the chair across from my desk. Sit. You're enjoying this, aren't you? She collapsed into the chair. Making me your servant? Customer service representative, I corrected. And no, I'm not enjoying watching my sister throw a tantrum like a toddler. Mom called this morning, she said suddenly, crying. Dad's meeting with financial advisors about selling their house. My stomach clenched, but I kept my face neutral. That's what happens when someone steals your retirement fund. I didn't steal. Stop. I held up my hand. The lying stops now. You took their money knowing exactly what you were doing. Own it. Tears welled in her eyes. You don't understand. Watching you succeed while I just existed. Do you know how that felt? Do you know how it felt watching them pour everything into you while I worked 3 jobs to put myself through college? I leaned forward. The difference is I channeled that feeling into building something real. My phone buzzed. A text from Virgil. FBI called. They want to talk. What's that? Lara asked, noticing my expression change. Nothing that concerns you. Yet. I stood up. Go home, cool off. Come back tomorrow ready to actually work, or I'll have no choice but to explore other options. You wouldn't really call the FBI. Try me. After she left, I called Virgil. What exactly do the feds want? They're investigating the clinic's network. Apparently, Lara's name came up in other victims' statements. She wasn't just a participant, she was a recruiter. My blood ran cold. What do you mean? She found other desperate couples, convinced them to invest in the clinic, got a commission for each one. I sank back into my chair. How many? At least 12 families. He paused. Danny, this is bigger than family drama now. This is organized fraud. A knock at my door interrupted us. Evangeline entered, looking worried. We have a problem. Someone's been accessing our secure servers from an unauthorized terminal. When? Last night, around 2 a.m. They were looking at the patent documentation and financial projections. My mind raced. Check Lara's building access card. Evangeline tapped her tablet. Swipe recorded at 1:47 a.m. Of course, I muttered. She's looking for something to leverage against us. Danny. Virgil's voice came through the speaker. We need to make a decision. The FBI wants to meet tomorrow. Evangeline crossed her arms. If she's stealing company secrets on top of everything else, I know. I pressed my fingers to my temples. Give me until morning to think about it. That evening, as I was leaving the office, I found Mom waiting in the parking lot. I didn't know where else to go, she said, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Your father, he's not doing well. The stress. Mom, please. She grabbed my arm. Help us fix this. She's still your sister. Fix what, exactly? I pulled away. The money she stole? The lives she helped ruin? Did you know she recruited other families into this scam? Mom's face crumpled. What? The FBI is investigating her as part of a larger fraud ring. This isn't just about our family anymore. But she can change, Mom insisted, if we just give her another chance. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Virgil. She's trying to access the servers again. Right now. I have to go, I told Mom. And you need to stop enabling her. For once in her life, let her face consequences. Back in my office, I watched the security feed as security escorted Lara from the building. She was clutching a USB drive, screaming about family loyalty. I picked up my phone and dialed Virgil. Set up the meeting with the FBI. It's time to end this. You're sure? I thought about Dad selling their house, about the 12 other families, about years of manipulation and lies. Yes, I said firmly. No more chances. Sometimes karma needs more than a little push. Sometimes it needs a shove. The FBI agents didn't look anything like they do in movies. Agent Torres wore a rumpled blazer and couldn't be much older than me. Agent Bryant had reading glasses perched on her nose as she reviewed the documents spread across my conference room table. This is thorough, Bryant said, tapping the financial records. Your lawyer did excellent work. Virgil's good at what he does. I glanced at the clock, 9:47 a.m. Somewhere across town, Evangeline was launching our new product line while I sat here, preparing to destroy my sister's life. Ms. Jackson, Torres leaned forward. We've been tracking this fertility clinic scam for 18 months. Your sister's involvement goes deeper than you know. What do you mean? Bryant pulled out a photograph. This was taken 6 months ago in Miami. The image showed Lara laughing at an outdoor cafe with 3 men in expensive suits. These men are the clinic's founders. According to our sources, your sister wasn't just a recruiter. She helped design the scheme. My stomach lurched. Design it? She identified the perfect targets, Torres explained. Upper middle-class families with access to retirement funds or home equity. People desperate enough not to ask too many questions. Like our parents, I whispered. Exactly. Bryant's expression softened. Your parents weren't her first victims. They were her proof of concept. My phone buzzed. Evangeline. Launch is going viral. News crews outside. Where are you? I have to ask, Torres said. Why come forward now? Why not when you first discovered the fraud? Because the conference room door burst open. Lara stood there, face contorted with rage, clutching a manila envelope. I knew it. I knew you'd betray me. Security rushed up behind her, but I waved them off. How did you get in here? Mom told me about the FBI meeting. She threw the envelope on the table. So I brought some evidence of my own, about your precious patent. Bryant picked up the envelope. Ma'am, you shouldn't be here. Open it, Lara demanded. See how my perfect sister built her empire. Those formulas? Stolen. From the same people you're investigating. Torres stood. Ms. Lara Jackson, you're under arrest. Check the documents, Lara screamed as Torres approached with handcuffs. She's no better than me. I opened the envelope, scanning the contents. Then I started laughing. What's so funny? Lara spat. These formulas. I held up the papers. They're dated last week. Our patent was approved months ago. You're not even good at forging evidence. Bryant examined the documents. These are clearly fabricated. No. Lara struggled as Torres cuffed her. You're lying? You always lie. That's enough, Torres said firmly. Lara Jackson, you're under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and attempted corporate espionage. As they let her out, she turned back one last time. Mom and Dad will never forgive you for this. Maybe not, I replied. But at least they'll still have a home. After they left, I sat alone in the conference room, staring at my phone. 17 missed calls from Mom, 1 text from Dad. You did the right thing. Evangeline burst in, practically vibrating with excitement. Danny, you need to see this. We're trending nationwide. The product launch is what's wrong. They just arrested Lara. Oh. She sat down beside me. How are you feeling? Like I just pushed my sister off a cliff. No. Evangeline squeezed my hand. She jumped. You just stopped pretending you could catch her. My phone rang. Virgil. It's done, he said when I answered. The FBI has enough to prosecute. They're investigating the clinic owners, too. What about the other families? The ones she recruited? There's a victim restitution fund being set up. Your parents will be included. Evangeline's tablet chimed with another sales alert. Danny, we just hit 7 figures in pre-orders. The wellness industry is going crazy for this launch. I thought about Lara's face as they led her away, about Mom's 17 missed calls, about Dad's single text of support. What do you need? Evangeline asked softly. I need to work, I said, standing up. Show me the launch numbers. She pulled up the statistics, and for the next hour, we focused on what I'd built instead of what I'd lost. Orders poured in, social media exploded with praise, and somewhere in the chaos, I felt something shift inside me. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from an unknown number. A video link. With trembling fingers, I pressed play. It was security footage from 6 months ago. Lara in that Miami cafe, laughing as she outlined her plan to scam desperate families. Her voice came through clearly. Trust me, I've been manipulating people my whole life. This is what I was born to do. I closed the video and blocked the number. Some things, once seen, can't be unseen. Some bridges, once burned, should stay ashes. The news broke on a Wednesday morning. Nationwide fertility clinic scam exposed, splashed across every major network. Lara's booking photo appeared next to headlines about fraud rings and stolen dreams. My phone hadn't stopped ringing since dawn. You need to see this, Evangeline said, rushing into my office with her tablet. They're calling her the fertility fraud queen on social media. I skimmed the article. $12 million stolen from over 50 families. The clinic owners had fled the country, but Lara and 3 other recruiters were in custody. Your parents are outside, Evangeline added softly. Your mom's crying. Send them in. They looked like shadows of themselves. Mom's designer clothes hung loose on her frame, and Dad's shoulders stooped under an invisible weight. Did you know? Mom asked before the door even closed. When you hired her, did you know it would end like this? I knew she needed to face consequences, I replied. The FBI investigation was already happening. This was inevitable. Dad sank into a chair. 50 families. Our retirement was just a drop in the bucket. The prosecutors called. Mom's voice cracked. They want us to testify against her. My office phone lit up. Another reporter calling. I'd turned off the ringer hours ago. What are you going to do? I asked. What choice do we have? Dad straightened slightly. She stole from us. From everyone. The Lara we thought we knew, she never existed, did she? Before I could answer, Virgil appeared in the doorway. Sorry to interrupt, but there's something you all need to see. He turned on the wall screen where a news program was playing. Lara sat in an orange jumpsuit, speaking to a reporter through prison glass. My sister set me up. Her voice filled the room. She was jealous of me, always has been. She manipulated everything to destroy me and steal our parents' love. Mom made a choking sound. She forced me to work for her company. Lara continued, tears streaming. Used my desperate need for IVF treatments to control me. The FBI only knows what she told them. I switched off the screen. That's enough. How dare she? Dad's voice shook with rage. After everything. It gets worse, Virgil said. Her lawyer is trying to spin this as corporate espionage gone wrong. Claims your company stole the clinic's proprietary formulas. But that's impossible, Mom interjected. Your patent is ironclad, Evangeline finished, entering with more papers. Our formula's uniqueness is well documented. Lara's just trying to drag everyone down with her. My phone buzzed. A text from Agent Torres. New evidence found. Need you to come in. I have to go, I told my parents. The FBI needs to see me. We'll come with you. Dad stood. It's time we told them everything. At the FBI office, Agent Bryant laid out photos across the interview room table. Each showed Lara with different families, accepting checks, making promises. These were in a storage unit registered to your sister, Bryant explained, along with detailed notebooks about each victim. She was proud of her work. Mom turned away, shoulders shaking. There's more, Torres added. We found recordings. She documented everything, probably as insurance against the clinic owners. He played an audio file. Lara's voice filled the room. The best marks are the desperate ones, like my parents. They'll empty their accounts if you know which buttons to push. And my sister? She's built this perfect little company. Once I get inside, I'll find something to take her down too. Dad's fist hit the table. Turn it off. We'll testify, Mom said quietly. Whatever you need. Just make it stop. Later that evening, back at my office, Evangeline found me staring out the window. The stock price doubled today, she said. All this publicity, as twisted as it is, has people fascinated by our story. Our real story, I corrected. Built on research and hard work, not lies. My phone lit up with a message from the prison. Lara requesting a visit. Don't, Evangeline warned. She'll just try to manipulate you again. I know. I deleted the message. Some people don't change. They just get better at hiding who they really are. And some people, she smiled, grow into exactly who they were meant to be. The office door opened and Dad stepped in. The prosecutors want to meet tomorrow. Your mother and I, we're ready. I nodded, feeling a weight lift. Me too. Danny. He hesitated. We should have seen it sooner. Should have protected you instead of always protecting her. You can't protect someone from themselves, I said, but you can stop them from hurting others. Outside my window, the sun set over the city skyline, painting everything in shades of gold. Tomorrow would bring more headlines, more revelations, more pain. But also, finally, truth. And truth, unlike Lara's carefully crafted lies, had a way of setting people free. The courtroom fell silent as the judge prepared to deliver the sentence. Lara sat at the defendant's table, her designer prison jumpsuit a stark contrast to her usual polished appearance. Mom and Dad sat behind me, their hands clasped together. Before I deliver my verdict, Judge Martinez said, would the defendant like to make a final statement? Lara stood, her chains clinking. Your Honor, I've had time to reflect on my actions. Her voice cracked perfectly, always the performer. I realize now the pain I've caused, especially to my family. My sister... Don't, I whispered, but her eyes found mine. My sister tried to help me, and I betrayed her trust. If I could take it all back. Ms. Jackson? The judge interrupted. Your previous statements to the media suggesting your sister framed you are part of the court record. Let's not add perjury to your charges. Lara's mask slipped for just a second, revealing the fury beneath. Having reviewed all evidence and testimony, including the heartbreaking statements from 53 families whose dreams you exploited, I'm ready to proceed with sentencing. Mom grabbed my hand. I squeezed back. 15 years in federal prison. No possibility of parole for 12 years. Full restitution to all victims, including your parents. Additionally, you are barred for life from working in any financial or medical-adjacent industry. The gavel struck. Lara's shoulders slumped. As guards led her out, she turned one last time. Mom, Daddy, please. But our parents stayed seated, faces set. No more enabling, no more excuses. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Ms. Jackson, how does it feel knowing your sister will spend 15 years in prison? What about the other families? Will your company help establish a victim support fund? Evangeline appeared, parting the crowd. Ms. Jackson will not be taking questions. However, we are announcing a new initiative. She handed me the microphone. We'd practiced this. Today, my company is establishing the New Beginning Fund. We're dedicating 30% of our profits to helping families affected by fertility fraud, including counseling services and legitimate treatment options. More questions erupted, but Virgil guided us through the crowd to waiting cars. You didn't have to do that, Dad said as we drove away. The fund? Yes, I did. I watched the courthouse shrink in the rearview mirror. Something good should come from all this pain. At the office, Evangeline had arranged a small gathering. Just our core team, my parents, and Agent Torres. The other clinic owners were arrested in Buenos Aires. Torres announced, accepting a glass of champagne. Your sister's recordings gave us everything we needed. So it's really over? Mom asked. The legal part is, Virgil said. The healing part, that takes longer. Dad cleared his throat. We've decided to sell the house, downsize to something manageable. Actually, I pulled out a folder. I have a proposition. The company's expanding. We need a new customer relations director, someone with experience in building trust and maintaining relationships. Mom's eyes widened. Me? You spent 38 years managing Lara. You're more than qualified to handle anything. But after everything we did, how we treated you, maybe it's time we all got a second chance, I said. A real one, built on truth this time. Evangeline raised her glass. To new beginnings? Wait, Dad interrupted. He turned to me, eyes glistening. First, I need to say something. Danny, watching you these past months, your strength, your integrity, your compassion, even in the face of betrayal, you're everything we should have seen all along. Everything we should have celebrated. Mom wiped her eyes. We were so busy trying to fix Lara, we missed the daughter who never needed fixing. To Danny, Virgil called out, raising his glass, who showed us that real success isn't about getting even. It's about getting better. As glasses clinked and conversations flowed, I stepped away to my office window. The city stretched out below, full of possibilities and second chances. My phone buzzed. Another message from the prison. This time, I didn't even look at it. Some chapters need to end for new ones to begin. Hey, Evangeline appeared beside me. You okay? You know what? I actually am. I turned back to the room, to my parents laughing with my team, to the future we were building. For the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. No more shadows. No more shadows. The sun streamed through the windows, painting everything in light. Sometimes karma doesn't just push or shove, sometimes it illuminates the path you were meant to walk all along. I just had to be brave enough to take the first step.